Hello, today we're going to learn about the new sales order report and some major changes that we've done to it. This new document replaces the old sales order report. The new format has the document type and document number in the upper left-hand corner, the customer along with the customer code, the branch that is doing the transaction, as well as the type of transaction, whether it be a delivered or a will call, if that branch has been confirmed by the corporate shipper yet, the date required along with the time, the weight, the payment terms on the sales order. If there's a job reference, it will be in this field. And then a transaction or a customer reference, it would be under that, followed by the delivery address with address line 1, the city, and the state, along with the sales tax rate that's being charged. If there's an SSP, a project manager, a journey, a driver, as we can see up here, along with the phone number for that driver and the ETA for that sales order. You also have the taken by on the order and the last modified, along with the time that it was last modified. You have special instructions, which we can see on this order. So you have special instructions. If there are special instructions, they will be listed here now. This is part of the special instructions. And then you have the lines on the body of the order. So you have the product, the line number, the product code, the description, the quantity unit of measure, the unit sell price, the unit of measure of that sell price, the extended price, the extended margin, and register flags. You also will have, if the line is attached to a purchase order, you'll have where that purchase order is, what's been received, if any, what the total of the order was that's on that purchase order, who approved that purchase order if you need to contact somebody, and you will also have the date that it's expected or required if it hasn't been fully received yet. On this report, this is one of the first order reports that you'll see that we are doing exception reporting. And what that is so in this report that's 191 pages, we are trying to identify the items that we want you to, that should pop off the page and need to be reviewed. In this instance, the expected date of the PO is April 10th. This also happens to be the date required of the sales order. Obviously, if we're receiving it the same day we're trying to deliver it, that would be a problem. So we highlight those in yellow where the expected date is the same or later than the date required on the order. You also have internal notes show after the body of the order. You have the internal notes, and then you have the total sell, margin, the tax, and the grand total of the order. There are also some other things that we're doing on this report, so I'm going to scroll down a little bit to see. So when we have text lines that don't meet a certain criteria, we are highlighting in teal here, is this text line needed? So what you're seeing now is what the customer will get on their invoice. So we're asking you, does the customer need to see whatever this line is? Probably not. So we should remove it before it's a sales order that is completed. But that's a question, for instance here, per quote, something, something, something. Do we need that on the actual invoice? Probably not. So that's teal. Teal are text lines that we're highlighting to say, is this actually needed when this becomes an invoice? You will also see green. Okay, so green is a pricing issue that needs to be addressed. So there's a separate document that we'll be sending out that goes over register flags and what flags need to be addressed. Typically, the second flag, if it's an X or a J, need to be addressed. In this case, it's a profile mismatch, meaning that on this sales order, we said use profile something, different than what the customer or jobs profile is. So if the customer came in and purchased this exact same item, right now, they're going to get a different price than what is on this order. Okay, that's the whole idea of the X's and the J's are we want consistency in pricing. So if the customer bought it today for this job and bought it this afternoon for this job, are they going to get the same price? If it's an X or a J, it's telling us they're not going to get the same price by default. So something needs to happen. Okay? So that's the idea of those greens, that what we're trying to do is highlight those so that you can go through your sales order report quickly, looking for pieces of information that you need, but highlighting those that need to be addressed before the order gets through the shipping process. So here you'll see J's. So in this case, a J, we have a permanent quote for this product. We've priced this out for this customer. Maybe it was after we did this sales order or something else. So we need to reprice these lines in order to give that customer the consistency in pricing. Here we've got to highlight it's a very low margin, only 4% on this line. Now maybe it's we have to do that and we know that, but that's fine. But this is highlighting, hey, make sure we address this issue in the internal notes so that Stephen understands when it gets to the billing department why we're selling it for such a low margin. Want to kind of scroll through and see if there's some other things that I can show you here. So here's some more where we've got dates that are flagging us. Text lines, again, so a lot of text lines on here, just random sort of text lines. Need to confirm handings of doors, lead time 1 week. That is not something that we want to give a customer on an invoice, so it should not be on the sales order that we're sending out to the customer. One thing which we may not have an example of, if you have a cash sale and there is payment outstanding, it will show in this section down here above the internal notes pretty loud and say payment outstanding and what that amount payment outstanding is, so that you can address that before it goes out into the yard to be picked and delivered and processed. That is sort of the summary of the delivered sales order. This is planning to go live the weekend of April 10th, between April 10th and April 12th of 2020. If you have any questions about it, please make sure to reach out to your sales manager. Thank you very much.